Hello everybody, my name is ANDAY. Welcome back to another video. This is all about LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising season, the Dragons Rising season is season 2, and this is episode 7 of part 1. So last episode a lot happened with Bonzel and the group, the others. We saw, what's his name? What's his name? Dorama? We saw Dorama again. He was cool. He found a random stage in the desert, a poison, and used Fidulian to lead people to him, which is like interesting. So where did that desert stage come from? You know, who built the stage and ended up? Who built the stage in a desert, only for Dorama to come across it? I like that more, instead of him just, oh, I made this random stage on the desert so students could come and learn about film or stage performance, whatever he was on about. Anyways, and then the group of Cole, Zane, and Bonzel ended up in the land of Mysterium, it seems, where there's a monastery who looks exactly like theirs. So, is it perhaps the monastery of Mysterium, or who knows? Who knows? Anyways, I think I've yapped on for now. Get ready for my yapping after this episode. So always remember, go watch this first on Netflix and on YouTube maybe, because they're uploading way more than episode 1 and 2 now. So please do watch them and then come back and watch me. You know, go watch them, hear the yaps of the show, and come back and watch my yaps. Anyways, let's get right into this episode. In LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising, we don't have the title. Season 2, Part 1, Episode 7. 3, 2, 1, play. Looks nice.
It makes no sense that our monastery is way out here. How is this even possible?
Is it the copy?
Because this isn't our monastery.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
Mushrooms.
From the outside, it looks exactly the same, but in here, pretty different.
For real. As if someone liked your crumbly old monastery so much, they were like, I'll have my own, please. I mean, your nice monastery.
Huh.
If Mysterium is a land...
And are we actually gonna get like a semi? Are they gonna interact? Are they gonna see each other? Or is a ninja gonna go back and see Kai or Jay? How does that? How does that? Wow. Sorry if I was silent or whatever. I was so tuned in. Okay, so a lot happened this episode. Excuse me. They met what's her name, Galleria, who doesn't explain what's going on with the monastery, by the way. Only that, oh, is it like the Upside Down? It's totally like the Upside Down, where it formed after a certain time in Mysterium, and the crack in the wall. Well, the crack in the wall was recent. We don't know if it has a training course actually. If you push the little thing and a training course pops up, we don't know if it has that exactly. But also, I guess Galleria, her name, I think. Gallerianda. What was her name? Hold on, she says it similarly. She says it right here. Gallerianda. Oh yeah, I like how she first assumes they're there to bring her, like, items. Very funny, very cool. Winged slugs, which is interesting. Let's see, where would it be? She literally says her name. Okay, Gandalaria, the High Sorceress of Mysterium. So, does that mean there are other sorceresses? Sorceresses? At least some that aren't probably as old as her and have been around for a long time. I like her design too. I need to know how to make it for custom. Also, I like her little face paint things. They're kind of Akita-esque. If you know who that is, you rule. But yeah, I like how they first come in. When they come in, they say, okay, it looks the same-ish on the outside. But inside, it doesn't look that much until they elaborate by saying, they actually had a fight one time and made a bowl, I made a noodle bowl crack on the wall from the Jay and Cole fight. And from the suits, it looks like it was sometime between crystallized and in Dragon's Rising season 1. So by that point, and he does say a long time ago, so it was definitely a certain point. And I like how Jay's lightning is blue and yellow. That's really cool. Blue and yellow. That's neat. It kind of makes me wonder what's gonna be. Are they gonna make a difference in it? Are they gonna say something like, "Oh, actually, Jay's lightning, which is blue, is strong, right? But his yellow lightning's even better," which it would be cool. Or unless they just say, "Okay, Jay's lightning can do yellow and yellow and blue at the same time." But I like it. It gives some difference to him that makes him more visually interesting. Hold on, wait a minute. Maybe I can. Is yellow lightning existing IRL? Let me see. I better double check this. Of course, my phone is slow. Is Yellowstone coming back? I don't want to search that up. Is yellow lightning? I keep misspelling lightning. Is yellow lightning real? Yellow or orange lightning occurs when there is a large concentration of dust in the air. Huh. Well, I'm sure the monastery has a lot of dust in its air. White lightning is a sign of low humidity or a well amount of moisture in the air. White is the color of lightning that most often ignites forest fires. That would be cool if Jay can do white lightning also. We have seen, I don't think we've seen white lightning, but we have seen similar effects in certain, we've seen pink lightning from the Overlord and purple lightning from Garmagon. Lightning can appear to be many different colors depending on what the light travels through to get to your eyes. In snowstorms, there is a somewhat rare pink and green lightning. Huh. That's cool. So pink lightning is a real IRL. And green lightning, I mean, Lloyd can do that for sure. Lloyd can do green. Oh, what's the strongest color of lightning? For example, the most common color is white, but it is also the hottest, and they indicate low concentration of moisture in the temperature. Also, it is one of the strongest and most dangerous colors to lightning due to being the hottest. Wow. Okay, so if Jay can do white lightning, he's like super OP. Oh, what happens if you see yellow lightning? Yellow lightning bolts are much more uncommon and tend to be cooler than blue. Oh, it's cooler than blue. That's neat. So how about he does this? Like he does a little sparky spark with his hand, and it's yellow. But when he goes full charge, like charge bolt, it'll go full blue, which would be very cool. Yellow, white, and iliac. It's Lilac. Lightning bolts are. They tend to be indicative of dry thunderstorms. So the presence of yellow tinted lightning could mean an approaching thunderstorm is a low precipitation storm. Okay. Can you get yellow lightning? The most common color is white, but yellow lightning can appear blue, yellow, violet, and even green. Different colors of lightning offer information about thunderstorms and weather conditions. Okay. How hot is white lightning? Okay, here it is. Finally, the color of lightning can sometimes signify how hot the lightning bolt is. They are not the same. Red, orange, and yellow lightning bolts are fairly cool at or less than 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. White and blue lightning can go over 20,000 to 50,000 to 50,000 degrees. Wow. Yeah, definitely in the lower tier lightnings, blue is definitely hotter. And I mean, if you look at it carefully, it kind of looks like white lightning. Like there's some white in there, I think. Yeah, I like how Cole also just takes that like a beast while they throw their controller away. Very cool. It's controller away, and then it makes a hole in the wall. Well, a dent at least. Bonk. And they are not kidding. They designed it very well to look like a noodle bowl. As you can see right there. That's very cool. So, yeah, that's what that's all about. So, what does that mean for... Okay, so, we did figure this out. If he does yellow lightning, it's based, and it's not that hot. It's less than 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which I would assume whoever gets hit by it would probably be very injured regardless. But blue lightning, if you're hit by blue lightning, you may be very well end up 6 feet under. 6 feet under, 6 feet under. But so we get. I thought this was Woo at first. The bluey glowy, or not bluey. What am I talking about? The glowy orange lighty thing. Not even. That's not orange. The glowy yellow ball thing, which, to be fair, it does look like Woo's, but this one has a name. It's Sprite, which I would assume is purely coincidental to the refreshing drink you buy at a McDonald's. Don't buy it from McDonald's. But yes, I really like her design. She's oozing crazy witch personality. She gives me Ida vibes from freaking Owl House, another based sources. I like her hat too, and her hair. I can only make the hair. I assure you. I know which hair to use too. The Archer, right? The Archer from minifigure collectible minifigures series 20 something. I don't know which one, but I do have the figure somewhere. I can make that. The problem is going to be probably the glasses. I don't really have any orange ones. Orange glasses. I could probably just find some. Hey, here's this person wearing this type of glasses. Well, maybe the red one. She does kind of resemble Sally in a way. You know her, Sally. She was one of the best characters in Crystallized. But yeah, I also have Sprite. What is Sprite? Is Sprite another Woo ghost thing like Woo? Was Woo sent to whatever Sprite is from, and that makes him? What does that mean? But yeah, I like how in this moment here, not to cut away, but we see Wildfire once again trying to chill with what's his name, Egolt, and then she does mention the wasting something. How she apparently lost her family to it. She says the wasting. It's disease older dragons can get. So here it is. It helps ease the pain with the wasting sickness, and that is pretty much word for word what she said in the fear vision. So like, did she get like I don't know, a vision of like her worst, not a vision, her worst fear being heat wave, figure me out, of getting this wasting sickness, or maybe other dragons that they know around. Like, oh, Ryu, did Ryu get? Is that what her vision was, or her? I keep saying vision because it's very common. Visions are very common now. Did she get a nightmare, essentially, of Ryu getting the wasting sickness? So yeah, she also does say it now. It affects older dragons, but it's not a cure, but it would help with his pain. So that's what that was when she said she saw him with the scale with black edges. So that's what that was about. So that was interesting. That was neat. Good way to tie that into the previous episode. Not that it unfortunately won't matter by the end of this episode. Yeah, so yeah, that's neat. So we do get. She first thinks a traveling merchant, I guess, who came to bring ingredients, and then she offers to turn them into slugs for her spell. And I love how she immediately accepts Bonzo for who she is and what she became, like her dearest. That's so sweet. She's literally her mom. She's like literally her mom. And also I like a Bonzo. I wonder if she saw Skulkins just chilling in the underworld or something like that. And yeah, I'd probably want to be a Skulkin when I retain my physical form. She's so cool. I love them so much. What does she have in the back of her? Hold on. Are those like feathers? Are those ribbons? What is that? Are those vines? Those are probably vines, knowing her. She probably has some crazy roots going on. Yeah, she put her heart, her soul into every weave of that spell. Or every spell. And yeah, she's the first of her creations to ever come back to her. And the way she says it is so sweet. Look at that. It's so awesome. And Bonzo's so sweet too. Look at her. Look at her here. It's epic. It's very epic. I love them so much. It's crazy how they turned Bonzo, who I already liked in the first season. She was just a neat little, like, pretty much a goth skeleton girl. And then they expand upon her here, making her story much deeper and much more intricate than what anyone probably believed. Much more important, really. So, like, yeah, that's crazy how they seem to have planned for many, many years ahead now. Well, not years ahead, but like many seasons ahead. They know what they're doing and they're planning it straight up. Extremely so. So, like, yeah, then we get a look at here. It's a nice scene of Lloyd with relaxing with some tea with Rontu, and look at him, he's just a little guy here. He is sitting crisscross applesauce. Well, not crisscross applesauce. I don't think they can't do that, can they? They just couldn't put their feet together, because that's all their Lego feet can move. But yeah, she does mention here, Lao. He is the first mortal to held the power of a source dragon, so that's interesting. Something no mortal was ever meant to do. That's interesting. Never meant to do. So that's like something that was never meant to happen. Something that never, because it's different. If it's something like, oh, you're never meant to do this, rather than it being no mortal could ever have done that before. You know, that's different. It's not implying that. It's not implying that a mortal has never done it. But it is also not implying that it's natural. Well, it's not implying that it is implying that it's not natural, is what I mean. But it is saying that, you know, it probably has happened before. So that is interesting. And it doesn't list also what this is, the visions that he has. So that means, like, you know, while he does see it, he cannot change them, but he can accept them as helpful warnings. So, like, whatever happens in those visions are probably still going to happen. But he now can probably affect them at the time when they occur and pretty much do his best into making those visions less bad than they probably will be. Because I assume if they're visions of something that will happen with him or will happen without him, interference, then him going in there to pretty much make things better would make the outcome a lot less worse, I would assume. It was something like Night Eye, where if with enough belief you can change it. You know, like with the belief of so many people wanting to change it, they could do that. So, like, you know, it's interesting for real. Like, they just have said, oh, you can't change the future, but they did say, like, if it has the Source Dragons, I've seen everything. What was it, beyond or past? They say something specific there. These possible futures are after effects. Possible futures, and she. Well, yes. And Source Dragons apparently can experience time differently, which is interesting. They can see what came before and things that might come to be. So that is interesting. See things that came before. Came before what? Themselves? Can they view the past? Is it like Bran and freaking the Three-Eyed Raven in Game of Thrones, where they can see any past event? That would be cool. Imagine we get okay, that would be a cool scene though. We have Lloyd discovering something in the past by going in the past during these future visions. Well, not future visions, but like he gets a vision of something in the past, you know? That would be really cool. That would be something really neat if he can do that. So yeah, the visions is having her fragments of that. He can't change them, but with careful meditation, it's possible he can harmonize with these visions and no longer have to fear them. Which, I mean, for the best, that is probably the best thing to do. If he has visions, the best thing to do is act. The best you could do is act on them rather than live in fear of them. Because living in fear, it's good to be fearful, good to be afraid for sure. But if you act on them, you can surely do a lot more with like concentration, all that stuff. You know, depending on what exactly he sees, he can definitely prepare. You know, you can just wake up one day from vision and you lock in. You know, so definitely that would be absolutely the way to go. And we kind of see a little glimpse of that already here. First we see, apparently it's them here chilling out. Wu, Zane, and Bunzel. And then here it is where it's made to look like the Wolf Warriors are closing in on them. But it's probably which with the lighting and the forest location. We do get a little scene here of the Shadow Dojo, and oh, Bonzo, no, no, is he gonna smash her with that mallet? I would hope not. Look, she looks so scared too, bro. Don't do this. And that's probably what's gonna happen. They're gonna do something, and it's gonna hurt her, or something worse. I don't think. Hopefully not. She's hopefully not doomed. I will continue to live in ignorance. She's shaky too. I can't. Oh, I didn't mean to skip. Here. Just still look at this. Look at no, my sig fig. There, I need to hug you. She's scared. She's shaking in this scene, bro. That is not right. He raises the gong, or the mallet. Bro, Roz, you're ruthless. So what else happens here? What else happens? Okay, yeah, it makes it look like he literally comes down on her with the mallet, which is insane. And we do get a glimpse here saying, but that will kill him. That's pretty much what he does implying with Zane later, but the context is different. Especially for Lloyd, I assume. But also we have this claw raised. So that's interesting. Who is gonna raise a claw at who? Oh, it's closed in at Sora, but she blocks it with her grapple, which is neat. So it is still like vivid vision. So okay, there's Kai doing his thing. Look at wow, that's a crazy kick. Check that out. Bam. Man. And he blocks the attack of this wolf man right there. So yeah, while they're fighting, an explosion forms, and that looks like the portal to whatever escape they've been trapped in for who knows how long. Well, thousands of years? Thousands of years to centuries. And bro, they all look so different too. One is a woo hat, one is a bucket head hat, one is a witch hat, one is another bucket head hat, and another witch hat. Definitely not gonna click something. I was gonna make one of my backgrounds go blank again. That would have been very unfortunate. Yeah, look at them. They're cool looking, but they're mysterious. I want to see their designs. Show me them. I want to make minifigures. I want to be on the minifig grind. Whoa. Yeah, explosion booms, and then blood moon. Bam. Roll credits. And of course, Lloyd gets vision. They all come in worried, which I do not blame them. Yeah, it makes sense for him to worry immediately about Zane and Cole, especially but with all that's going on back in there. And of course, he explains the situation to Bonzo, explaining how they have and they do mention information here, like saying the blue moon can only appear in a millennia. And how much is a millennia? Hold on, because it's different. It's this is a millennia. This happens every thousands of years. Or is a millennia 100 years? Oh, a millennia or millenniums is a period of 1,000 years. Huh. Okay, so it does happen over 1,000 years. Huh. Okay, so if Ninjago's been around for thousands of years, or Ninjago / the Realmscape, I would guess, so then there's been blood moons happening for at least several thousands, because if Ninjago's thousands of years old, right? There's got to be blood moons that happens every one of those thousands. And hold on, I need to look up something else. No, not Day of the Departed. What's it called? The Departed Moon? Something like that? It's something specific. Day of the Departed Eclipse. The Yin Yang Eclipse. Okay, wow. This is very important information. Oh, okay. approximately every 3,721 years. Epic. Very, very epic. Uh, okay, so out of those 3,721 years, there had to have been a blood moon at the time. That would look cool though. A yin yang blood moon. The rift cannot open again until the next yin yang eclipse. Which, according to my calculations, will happen for another 3,721 years. Wow. Oh, okay, it happens rarely in Ninjago. Okay, so does that mean Ninjago specifically it only happens? Or in Ninjago the show it happens? Like, is it all realm occurrence thing? Like, does this happen in freaking Chima? Does this happen in elsewhere? But also we learn that, speaking of Chima, we learn that Galerida here also has her work or just storages of stuff in the wilderness. So that's interesting. So she has visited there before, which is interesting. Wonder if she's seen the Chime people. But yeah, like I want to know more about Galleria. I know she has a crystal ball that can shoot lightning. Is cool. But also we have very interesting guests that appear that I never would have expected. And I like how they do knock first. That's neat. They knock and they have the Lloyd mechs. I guess they saw how effectively Lloyd was using them and decided to reproduce. Mass reproduce instead of using for trash. At least they're all green too. That's funny. But yeah, we have Ancient Roderick Allen and his partner PG Underwood. No, just regular Underwood. Ancient. I like how he tries to say Sunderwood, but also I just noticed here. I like how Galleria holds on to Sprite to float up. She's so cool. Yeah, his partner, Agent Sunderwood, which is, wow, A, and also B, that's gotta be like a reference to whenever we have, okay, this goes back all the way to, I wouldn't say it started in Ninjago, but like just a moniker of snake characters. Whenever they speak, they always have to have a little extra whenever they say words with S. It's funny, but it's also getting a little kind of, would they really say that? I don't know. But yeah, that's something that's happened. But yeah, apparently they tracked him down when he was when they passed by Departed Realm, or the Realm of Madness, which apparently was nearby. I would guess it was that smoky cloud area. So if that's the case in that poison area, if that's the case, then who of the Realm of Madness went out and built a stage? They said that they passed by it, so I would assume that was that area, because they don't specify what area that poison desert was in. And I mean, a poison desert, that's, to me, that sounds like it would be pretty well fit inside the Realm of Madness. So yeah, but I like how they come in saying, we need to claim Zane back. Which is crazy, because, you know, it's crazy how they seriously kind of dehumanize him here by saying... Oh, no, I'm trying to get a good frame here. Oh, that was it. And I like how she immediately scoffs at bureaucrats based of Galerianda. I think that's her name. I can't remember. I can't have a good frame. I want to get this one frame right here where he has a lip bite. It's very funny. Oh, I almost have it. Okay, well, this is good enough. But yeah, I like how he does brag here, saying, "Oh, I increased it by 9%," which is based of Zane. He was very based in that episode. And I like how Kai here they show how They gave him more personality by making him much more of a hothead, which is something we never really got much of in the original show, which is neat to see here. Because let's be honest, he was set up to be that kind of wrath character, but he would never was. Let's be real, he was much more in fit as the main character. But yeah, I like how in this scene we can clearly see there was a change of like passage going on with everything's more red now, which is very neat. Very cool. And I like how Nia gets the idea by playing Counter-Strike or Counter something, whatever he said. Counter-Shot. Counter-Strike, what did I say? Which is a game they used to play when they were in their old workshop, and then he says he misses those days when they weren't saving the world. Which is it's kind of very sweet, but also kind of super sad how they've been, like, really just back then, Kai's only concern was just saving his sister and getting back to not save the world. And even then, right afterward, they save pretty much Garmadon, or they stop Garmadon and kind of help him with his plan of leaving his dimension by bringing the golden weapons to Semakai, who blew up, and sending him to the Realm of Madness. But at that point, all they wanted to do was relax without training. Which, I mean, to be fair, if they kind of just chilled there and didn't interfere at all with Lloyd and such, a lot of things probably wouldn't have happened. But yeah, like, it is crazy how back then they had no worries at all not to save the world and such, but then now, after so many years, so many seasons, so much has happened that now they literally can't. They can't ignore whenever there's a big threat going on. They can't just call it a day. They're in this now and they have to do it. I just dropped my skirt finger. I need to stop messing with him. I dropped it again. But yeah, just fun, not having to worry about saving the world. And I'm really, that's like a sad thing to think about. Like really, just any kid hero in particular in fiction, they're always so happy and like happy and worryless back then, only to be forced upon in a dangerous situation and having to be a hero pretty much. So that's neat. And I love how we get flashbacks of Kai and Nia as little as they were when the kids with the old designs. It was so sweet. Yeah, I like how they spin and then we see them and the lighting looks so good and so orangey. It literally is just like the very first episodes. Look at them, they're so small. They're so tiny and they're holding hands. It's so sweet. Here, hold on, use it. Oh, that's a good frame. They remodeled the whole gift shop. Look at that. It looks nearly identical the way it does in this show. Literally the very first episode. And a reminder, behind that sign there with the two swords, there is a map to lead you to where the golden weapons are. But yeah, just seeing this gets me so nostalgic. Oh man, I love it. It is so good. Here's a better frame. Here. Look at that. That's so cool. They even made effort to make it look old and dusty and all that. Man, that's insane. And also the orange lighting too. That is so cool, dude. They put effort into bringing us back to this era. It's so sweet. Also, Nia doesn't know to run. See right here. Check it out. Based Nia. Awesome. So awesome. But yeah, I like how they mirrored what they're fighting too. When they're jumping and they're spinning and they're moving around things. It's very cool. It's such a good scene. Man. And like how they also clearly see this like improvement and look at each other in approval. Here, look, see? Which is very neat. Very cool to show their progress making. And seeing them just like running side by side. Until Kai activates it. And it looks so cool here. It's like a small dragon, a small elemental dragon that encompasses his being. And that he can sort of control it seems. it doesn't appear to be its own like entity. It just seems to be like a part of him, right? Which is essentially what Spinjitzu is. It's not its own thing. It's a martial art. It's kind of like, okay, it's not kind of like, but if you've seen Demon Slayer, not to immediately go into something else that probably no one here has watched. In Demon Slayer, presumably, anyways, when why can't I even think of his name? Nezuko's brother, Tanjiro. When Tanjiro, he uses water style, pretty much in his swords. There's a visual of water behind it. That's kinda, but it's not literally there. It's just made there for the effects animation, which to me makes it a lot cooler. By the way, it doesn't deter it at all for me if it isn't real. Just pointing that out for anyone listening. Just saying it looks cool in the show and it looks cool here. And this is pretty much what I think. Okay, it's I would imagine Rising Dragon technique is less to do with Spinjitzu and more so its own thing, because he's clearly flying here, and that is obviously different. It is also obviously different from air jutsu, which they cannot do anymore. But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with they give us more upgrades like this, especially. Actually, though, it makes a lot of sense to give one person, right? One person this ability instead of everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, say the arc of a season is to learn this new technique to defeat the bad guys and sell toys. If only one of them manages to do it, you're gonna sell this toys. Why else would you have a dragon style Aaron toy that I have right here if it's not canon to the show? I think this is a good way to go around it, and it also makes them more unique in their fighting styles. Like, Cole has so many buffs to him now. Not that that's a bad thing, which it isn't. He has his rock form. He has Spinjitzu burst. Zane, yeah, he does that. Zane can do other things, I think. Zane can fly, but he can only do it when he is at his true potential. And Jay, he can fly and teleport, but only when he's at his true potential, which they don't have anymore. Also, I'm sorry, I went on about them losing abilities in the last reaction I did. I think I did in their last one or the one before that. I don't know. And I'm gonna mention it now because this is totally different than what we've seen before. At least smaller than the elemental dragons, that's for sure. But yeah, it looks so cool though, and it does seem to be like its own. It's kind of its own thing, its own entity that encompasses him in it, and it like literally he's like mirroring him pretty much. It's not like, because yeah, like he's blended into it also, as you can see. Because like see, there's a little bit of him poking out in the front there, and in the sides, he literally becomes part of this dragon thing. And yeah, it looks so cool too. Like I know we saw it a lot of times in the intro, but it looks really, really neat. And it roars also, which is interesting. And of course Kai makes his epic landing with his glowing red eyes, which is also cool, and Nia's there, is all happy. Awesome, awesome. I love them all together. Best siblings ever. I grew up with these siblings. Literally. So yeah, he's now a third Fang Ninja, which is epic. And the lighting, it goes back to blue for at least a moment here with all this going on. And then as this scene goes on, it gets pinker and pinker. It starts right here. Yeah, this is where things get worrying when it gets all pink. And everyone notices. And I like how it slowly dreads in. And then it first notices Eren, and then boom, the Blood Moon, which is crazy. Yeah, let's get to the Cloud Kingdom here, floating on in the distance. I assume they're floating back to. They've got to be, right? They're floating back to either the Wolf Temple here, the Wolf Temple, or the, what is it called? The Shadow Dojo. There we go. Which is that another monastery? Also, we have Roz here just chilling on the roof. Like the boss he is. Well, there's the Blood Moon's coming up. Right up there. Yeah, well, this interesting little thing where his usual color is all like, it's pink, right? Little markings on his body, it's all pink. But he takes his moment and he looks at himself, right? As you can see right here. And then as the Blood Moon comes up, he turns his pink, or his purple gloves become red, and his stripes on his face become red. Which it looks cool on. Props to him for showing up in the villain base department. The villain designs department. I don't know why I'm saying department. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. But yeah, he looks cool now. But what does this mean? Is he even more powerful now? Is he 10 times the Roz that he was before? Is this his ultimate form? He's a beast already, but if he does this, he's gonna be insane. But yeah, he does look cooler now. I hope they must make this figure at some point. Even if it means just getting 2 red minifigure hands and a different face. Also, speaking of different faces, can they paint the teeth in his minifigure too, please? It's literally the only thing missing from him, is painted teeth. And they cannot do it for some reason. I hate when I press the minifigure. Oh, let me press this button here so I can show what emotion I'm feeling. And it always pulls up something. So, specifically when I press this, Dead appears. Hi, Dead. Hi, Dead. So yeah, there's all my rants about Lego minifigures. Please update them. But I like how we do get this one shot of pretty much everyone noticing it. First we get everyone there. Also, this is a good frame. Hold on. Check it out right here. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. Whoopsie. Neato. But it's okay, yeah, they have to turn it, but apparently it says they cannot, they're sorry, they hope they had more time, but the Blood Moon is also a bane for us. And apparently what they mean by that is, well, after it says my swords are going to be on their side, it turns them into stone. And it's very specific, like a red coloring encompassing their bodies. Well, they turn to stone, and they have cracks and such too. Like, just by forming into it, they has cracks. Like, it's a clear indication of it becoming solid and petrified. Literally petrification. And sure, it's unfortunate, but it's also dark. To having these dragon characters we love and know and love, one of them being a set, continue to be defenseless when they're turning to stone. It is insane. Like, we never would get this. It's just as dark as when spoilers for your childhood, I assume, when we learned the Ultra Dragon from the season 2 is dead by the time we're in Hunted season 9. The you know, where the Iron Baron and the Dragon Hunters killed them and made them into a throne. This is just as scarring. The 2 characters we see helping out the ninja and being new masters for them, turning to stone here. Is it the way they worded it here? We're sorry, we wish we had more time. It's a bane for us. Does this mean they're away from life? Does this mean they're not living anymore? Does this mean they're dead forever? What does this mean? I would hope, right, that, okay, well, at least they didn't crumble here. That's how you know they would have been dead. But they did not crumble, so they're still alive, sort of, maybe technically. And they're just petrified, right? And you can still be alive if you're petrified, right? It's state of petrification. And, like, to be honest, these guys are really cool, and they were essentially, you know, these are new masters. And I really expected Hiko to be evil because of design, but if he is not evil and has been the teacher that we like and know, and now to be petrified, that is messed up. Very, very messed up, and now he's a stone statue now forever. Hopefully not. I don't know. This just went all crazy, and no one expected this. I sure didn't. I just thought, okay, now you must go back on your quest and save the world. Not that they would turn to stone. Wait, so what did they do with the last blood moon? Were they just not affected? I would assume so. No. The spell to bring them back required. No. They defeated them, and then the spell was used to take them to it. So it's different from them when the blood moon also shows up and takes them out. Or maybe it's a stand of age. It didn't affect them back then, but it affected them now because they're much older now, and that one guy has the wasting sickness. So maybe that's the case. But yeah, I like how just to go back to the lighter notes when he says they're gonna come in. Zane here, the based Zane as ever, always brings in a saying, you need the proper you need the proper forms to get in here. Have you signed your specific forms in order to get here? But also getting back to poor Jiro. Poor Jiro, look at him. They caught him. They put him on the dragon equivalent of the wheel thingies that police put on cars, and the poor thing on his face. Poor guy. Literally, poor man. How'd they let my boy Jiro go? But yeah, they straight up just want to take Zane to the incinerator, which they did pull up in like pretty good amounts of people. They have a Ninjoid back there, a Merlopian, a Murray guard, and another two sunglasses people, which they're not short on recruitments, that's for sure. So yeah. Oh, what else here? What else? Whale to reach Walrus, which is interesting implications. But I like how she also, when they go and say, none of my stuff is administration approved, which I would assume not. Also, she takes out his hat and a lot of stuff falls out, including a cat. But also, she looks neat without her hat. See here? Oh, I need this minifigure so bad. Or at least need enough for a costume. Also, cat in her hat. Oh, cat in the hat. I get the joke. Epic, very epic. Is that the same cat that was in the intro? Or at least in the first episode? So they passed through the lens of madness. Okay, there you go. Yeah, they was scanning for him. This is all his fault. Very well, surely. But yeah, apparently he has a crystal ball that can shoot, which I was gonna say, crystal ball is a crystallized reference. Also, though, I like how it looks like it has an eye, but also has like a little scratch here with the bandage on it. That's kind of cool. That's kind of really cool. Little detail there. That makes it feel real, to be honest. Like, this crystal ball's been around, has a crack in it, but nah, just put a little band-aid on it, just to make it better, which is really neat. And she's very cool. I love Gondoriala. I think that's her name. I gotta listen to it one more time. I'm not sure. But whatever, she's based. But yeah, then the guys only then decide to bust through with the forms in triplicate. They're insane for this. So yeah. I like how we get a mech versus mech fight, but we're just barely seeing it. It's probably not gonna happen until the next episode. Here's a good frame. But yeah, I was wondering, it would be neat if one of them uses the little mini mech there, if they figure out that's what it is. Like kind of like how Zane not Zane, kind of like how Aaron and Lloyd did in that one episode. But like how the crystal ball also shoots lightning, pink lightning. That's kind of neat. Very neat. And also, hey, pink lightning. We were just talking about that earlier. But yeah, she's laughing like a mad woman while she does it. She's based. But also this scene where Bonzo and Sprite go downstairs in the basement, I would assume, somewhere to hide with Sprite, the spirit. But yeah, no, we get freaking Jaywalker coming out of the shadows. And, I mean, he knows who he is, but he doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. This is very different from when he was just in in the portal sent home department. He's really just here coming in to retrieve Zane, I would assume, unless actually though, if he was working with Roz slash the administration and is coming to retrieve Bonzo back, and that's how they get Bonzo back for this ceremony. That would be super worrying if our beloved Jay. Honestly, I've always liked Jay, to be honest. Like Lightning, cool, funny guy, cool. He is in it for me. He wasn't my first minifigure. My first minifigure was Dragon Kai. But yeah, like he knows who he is. He says it himself. I am Jay Walker. Agent Walker. Agent Jay Walker. Is that what he says? Him calls himself by? Agent Jay Walker. That is so insane to hear him say that. And he's straight up holding his electricity gun. I like how Bonzo's first move is to put her hands up. Like, poor Bonzo. We need a moment of her to shine. Even more than she already has. We need to pull out some insane spell stuff. Hopefully next episode. Anyways, wow. I've gone on my another long yaps once again. Okay, so crazy episode. I cannot wait to see where they go next. This has been Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Part 1, Episode 7. What was it? Fugitives of Madness? Something like that? That totally makes sense now. Anyways, my name is ANDAY. This has been Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. What were your thoughts on the episode? You can't wait for more? I sure can't wait for more. Anyways, my name is ANDAY, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.